Hey guys! Before we even get into today's video, make sure you subscribe, like, and drop a comment real quick just to help the algorithm push this out. And if you're watching on mobile, you already know you can swipe on the little comment bar once or twice until you see that hype button. If you have that feature, go ahead and hype this video because it helps so much. And it literally takes you like 1 second. Alright, now let's talk because today we're getting into something I've been wanting to break down for a long time, and honestly, it's time. Let's talk about how Twice has lasted this long and why they are still going so strong, stronger than ever, honestly, even in year 10, year 11, heading into year 12. Because the way these girls are booked, busy, fed, feeding us, touring, releasing, smiling, thriving, yeah, we need to talk. So, first off, let's be real, most groups do not last, and that's not shade, it's just how the industry has always been. If you look at girl groups from the US, even the biggest ones, the shelf life is usually like 2 to 6 years max. 4 or 5 is the sweet spot. Spice Girls, they didn't even touch 10 years. Destiny's Child came close, but they had a lineup changes and breaks the whole time. Even legendary groups like the Supremes, they were huge for a long time, but not a clean, solid, unchanged 10 plus years. But Twice? These girls are literally an anomaly, a glitch in the matrix. They have done what almost no girl group in history has done. Not just in K-pop, but globally. No lineup changes, no contract disasters, no member disappearing for 100 years, no weird hiatus, no messy drama, nothing like that. 10 straight years of consistency under the same company, same lineup, same energy, same work ethic. That is unheard of. And you can sit there and say, oh, but other groups are talented too, and yeah, they are. But talent alone doesn't keep a group going for a decade. You need chemistry, you need discipline, you need people who genuinely like each other. You need a company that knows how to handle them. You need fans that actually support them, and you need the group itself to want to keep going. That's the key. Because look at all the groups that came close to being the next thing. IZone was massive in Korea and Japan, and were literally about to be the next nation girl group, and poof, disbanded. They really didn't have a choice though, because the group was temporary. New Jeans had that same skyrocket trajectory. Everyone was like, oh, they're gonna eclipse Blackpink, they're the new standard, they're the new global girl group, and boom. Chaos, hiatus, disappearance. No stability, no certainty. Meanwhile, Twice in their 10th year are still touring, still selling out, still charting, still pulling huge numbers, still giving us quality, still maintaining multiple markets at once. You do not get another case like this. It probably won't happen again. And what really blows my mind is not even the fact that they lasted this long. It's the fact that they lasted long while working non-stop. Twice has never had a year without music. Since 2015, that's literally insane. Even during the pandemic, even during global chaos, they said, here's a comeback anyway. And not just Korean comebacks, they're maintaining 3 different markets: Korea, Japan, and the global market. That's a lot. Most groups can't even maintain one properly. And in 2024, 2025-ish, Twice said, we're eating good, and started cooking multiple 5-course meals. This year alone, they dropped 1 full-length Korean album, another full-length Japanese album, and a full-length special album. Chaeyoung's full-length solo album on top of all that, plus MISAMO preparing to come back with a full-length album in 2026? Like, hello? Who else is doing this? They have been working, like genuinely working, feeding us like it's nothing. The girlies are literally on tour while also dropping full projects and somehow still smiling, still sounding great, still performing, and still acting like this is nothing to them. And listen, a normal person would look at all that and say, oh, they must be exhausted, they need a break, they're being overworked, JYP is doing too much. And I get why people say that, because from the outside, it looks insane. But here's the part that people forget. Twice actually likes to work. They've said it multiple times. Take Nayeon's Elle interview, for example. They literally asked her how she keeps going after over 30 singles and all these projects since 2015, plus her solo album. And she said something that honestly changed my whole perspective. She literally said when she's working nonstop, she wants to rest. But then when she rests, she wants to work again because she misses working. So instead of long breaks, she likes having small breaks here and there. She enjoys working, and that's what's even more interesting is she said her driving force is 50% the Twice members and 50% once. Because she knows fans are waiting. She knows people want concerts and albums, and that keeps her going. And the wild part is when you look at the rest of the group, they all have the same energy. They all genuinely love what they do. They've said it in fan signs, in live streams, in interviews, in documentaries, and that's why, even though I personally think they deserve a long, well-rested break, because they've been working to the bone. Who am I to say enough is enough if they're literally telling us they like the constant cycle, like they like working, they like performing, they like creating music, they like staying active, then that's them. They know their bodies, their limits, their energy, their passion more than we do. And honestly, I think that's part of why they lasted. Because a group with zero passion does not survive year 10. A group where people don't want to be there does not give you multiple full albums in a year. A group that is tired of each other does not re-sign with the same company with zero fuss. Twice wants to be here, and you can feel it. But let's get deeper, because the main question is, how did Twice hold on to their spot so long in an industry that moves so fast, drops groups overnight, replaces trends every 6 months, and produces new idols every week? It's because Twice understood their identity, their roles, their dynamic, and their fans. They never tried to be anyone else. They never chased trends just to chase trends. They evolved naturally. They shifted from cute to elegant to mature to sophisticated in a way that felt smooth. And their sound changed with them, but it was always still Twice. The other thing people overlook is how smart their market strategy is. Most groups pick one lane. Twice said, no, we're doing Korea, Japan, and the global stage. They're literally the blueprint for how to expand without abandoning your home base. Their Japanese success alone is something that could carry an entire career by itself. But then they also dominate Korea, and then they perform globally like it's nothing. That's longevity, that's stability, that's why they're still here. There's also the consistency factor. Twice is consistent in everything. Their music quality, their image, their fandom engagement, their teamwork, their professionalism. They show up, they don't miss, they don't crumble. Even when they hit bumps, like when some members took mental health breaks, they were open about it, honest and supportive of each other. They came back stronger every time, and I think fans respect that. Another reason I think Twice lasted is because they're mostly unproblematic, and that matters. It matters a lot in K-pop, but honestly it matters everywhere. A group cannot survive a decade if every 2 months there's drama. You need members who get along, who aren't messy, who stay out of scandals, who respect each other, and who genuinely want the group to succeed. And Twice has that. It's very rare for 9 people to stay on the same page for this long. That's why I say we probably won't see another case like this again. Because you're not gonna find 9 people who love their job, love each other, love their fans, and love working enough to survive 10 years with no big drama. And let's talk releases again, because Twice's discography is ridiculous. The way they never skip a year is insane. This year, they gave us a full Korean album, a full Japanese album, a full special album, Chaeyoung's full solo album, plus MISAMO preparing for a full album next year. That's 4 full-length albums in one cycle. Name another group doing that. And the thing is, it's not rushed. The quality is still there, the visuals are still there, the choreography is still tight, the vocals are still good. You can just tell they care. And it's not only the music. They are literally on tour while doing all of this. Most groups need months of prep, hiatus, media silence before a tour. Twice said, no, we can multitask. They're doing home tours, world tours, encore tours, everything, and they still deliver. That takes stamina, that takes discipline, that takes genuine love for performing. Twice is honestly that one group that people thought would fade after their super cute era ended. Remember when people kept saying, oh, they won't survive after Cheer Up, or they're done after TT, or when the mature people leave? Yeah, how did that age? Because Twice matured and their fans matured with them. They grew into their 20s gracefully, they shifted their style in a way that kept old fans and brought in new fans, and that's very, very hard to do. Now let's look at why this longevity probably won't happen again. It's not even just the industry changing, it's the culture. Newer groups are debuting younger, with more pressure, more eyes, more competition. It's harder to maintain a clean record for 10 years. It's harder to keep the same lineup. It's harder to avoid conflicts. It's harder to keep fandom stable. It's harder to keep the passion going with all the expectations around members, charts, virality, everything. Twice debuted at the perfect time, with the perfect members, perfect chemistry, perfect company strategy, perfect fan base, and perfect storm of circumstances. It was literally 1 in a million. Twice lasting this long is like watching history in real time, because we might not get this again. A girl group with 0 breaks, 0 lineup changes, non-stop releases, global success, Japanese domination, Korean domination, and a decade of consistent activity? Yeah, that's special. That's rare. That's iconic. And honestly, the more I pay attention, the more I realize they're not slowing down. Like, yes, I want them to rest, take a vacation, go hydrate, sleep, eat, chill, because they deserve it. But I also see how happy they are when they're working. And if they're happy, then what am I stressing about? They literally tell us we love working because the fans are waiting. And Nayeon even said they're happy to keep working because once is waiting. That says everything. They're not being dragged through work. They want to work. They want to release music. They want to perform. And that's something you can't force in any group. That comes from genuine passion. And I think that's the real reason Twice survived this long. Passion, consistency, teamwork, chemistry, discipline, love for music, love for the fans, love for each other, and that's why they're still here. That's why they're still selling out shows. That's why their releases still chart. That's why they still feel fresh, because they're not forcing it. They're genuinely built for longevity. So, going into this next era, with MISAMO coming back with a full Japanese album in 2026, with Twice still touring, with members still dropping solo albums, with their group albums still coming in strong, this is a group that has cemented themselves in history. And I don't see them disappearing anytime soon. They're too locked in, too dedicated, too loved, too stable. Twice is really one of those once-in-a-generation groups. You don't recreate this. Before we wrap it up, if you're still watching right now, first of all, I love you. Second, please scroll up a little, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't, drop a comment, and if you're on mobile, go ahead and swipe on that comment bar until you see the hype button and hype this video. It helps the channel so much more than you think. And for the real ones who stayed until the end, comment this phrase so I know you watched the whole thing. Twice longevity era. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, love you, and hype the video if you can. Bye!